not always turn around. If he's turn around, trying to find the middle of Wang Hao. But I mean, at this moment, Wang Hao is playing on really unbelievable high level. Also, the first topspin of MIZUTANI, he was so often there for direct counter-attack. So difficult really at this moment for MIZUTANI to get out there again. So powerful of Wang Hao. Like, you have to be bulletproof if you play against him.
Would you say that Wang Hao has the best technique, the best reverse backhand topspin of the current batch of Chinese players?
Definitely, definitely. I mean, it's the most natural way, and he's using more speed than spin. With Marlin, he's quite often also using the regular way of playing pan-hold, and if he's using this reverse backhand topspin, it's not only topspin, it's more often side spin, downspin in his backhand topspin. Also, Xin is still, with the backhand, something he has to improve more, but Wang Hao is really decent with backhand and so powerful.
So the player's back, third game, Wang Hao serving, and he starts where he finished off at the end of the second game. Good footwork, gives himself bags of room. Very difficult to see where the ball's going when a player gets round the backhand side to play a forehand. Very difficult to read the action and predict the direction. So 2 points with the Wang Hao serve. MIZUTANI now with his 2 serves.
He's already a bit too passive in returning the ball. He has to risk a little bit more, starting with the service of Wang Hao. See, this is a good idea. Like, he did already that before in that game twice, now third time. Surprising Wang Hao a bit.
Did it again. And that's exactly what he's got to do. He's got to gamble the long fast serve. You're inviting the topspin, but if you can produce it and surprise your opponent, you've got good chances, as MIZUTANI's shown. 2 points each.
See, this first block, this is already too passive. Gives Wang Hao the chance to follow us after. He has to give maybe this first topspin a little bit, this extra kick, this extra spin, or maybe risk a little bit more. But easier said than done.
Fantastic table tennis. MIZUTANI did well there. He managed to get in some strong top spins when he was away from the table. But the stronger MIZUTANI went, the stronger Wang Hao came back. And that was a lovely shot. He had to let the ball drop.
Yeah.
He put a bit more spin on it, less speed.
And also have a look how the way Wang Hao moves to the ball. That's something all Chinese are doing really on a much higher level than most of the Europeans. Really always stepping in the ball, and Wang Hao shows us a very good lesson here. How to step in the ball, how to move at topspin, topspin.
2-4. Wang Hao leads, MIZUTANI 2 serves.
2-4. Time out.
Been interesting watching the Chinese players on the Pro Tour this year, and I just feel when they get their opponents away from the table, they don't necessarily go to blast the ball 100 miles an hour. They work it, they just work their opponent. They don't take any chances, they just play the percentage shot all the time.
Exactly, then they try to open the ankle a little bit more in deep backhand and even more in deep backhand, waiting for the opponent to turn around, and then maybe eventually this shot is coming to deep forehand. But they really take their time because they're not afraid what the opponent can do. Maybe try this backhand topspin, but they still are under control because backhand against forehand in this way, if you have left against right, I think the forehand is stronger than the backhand.
So MIZUTANI, the Japanese coach, called timeout. Clearly the Japanese coach feels this match is drifting away from the Japanese player. He's probably right, Richard.
Yeah.
Good call.
If MIZUTANI should be 3-0 down, not too easy to come back. I mean, nevertheless, he would try. But first thing is now to avoid being 3-0 down. Maybe he can come back into the game.
Both players, of course, have one opportunity in the match to call a timeout. It's very interesting tactically to watch the various coaches when they call the timeout. Normally used to break the momentum that their opponent has built up. We'll see now whether it's affected Wang Hao at all.
A little bit change of service, not that high tough service, a little bit lower service, using a straight service, spin and no spin, not too much side spin, up spin or side spin, down spin.
Timeouts work. 2 points for Yun Mizutani. Wang Hao with his second serve. But again, Mizutani not quite angling the racket sufficiently over the ball. Looked like there's a little bit of topspin on it. Mizutani not quite getting the racket angle over sufficiently.
Seems to me that it's always a bit more spin inside than Mizutani can feel. A little bit more upspin, a little bit more downspin. He has big troubles returning the service.
Good topspin behind the serve, Mizutani. Forehand from the backhand side. I'm sure we'll see Wang Hao getting out wide to Mizutani's forehand shortly. Good chance there for Mizutani. Wang Hao didn't read the spin on the serve then. It popped up, Mizutani was in, but he hit the ball basically straight on to Wang Hao's bat. We'll see that again.
And then he's so often he's there. Like, it would be the better position for Mizutani to put that ball down to the middle, not down to backhand or down to forehand. But one more time, Wang Hao is playing really on unbelievable high level.
7-5. Wang Hao, 2 serves to come. Again, he's not reading the spin, is he, Richard? He came underneath the ball, then he thought there was backspin. He lifts, and look at that, up in the air. And again, that's a pretty straightforward topspin for Wang Hao.
So most of the time it's upspin, but like Mizutani is not sure to really open the ball, to flick the ball fast. Again a chance there to do a little bit more for return.
Would you say that if there's no spin on the ball, that's the ideal one to flick? And like, then if there's backspin, then maybe you look to touch short.
Yeah, in general, but like Wang Hao is using not only like no spin, but a little bit up spin, and that one you can use maybe for as a lefty, coming with backhand flick over the table, like the Chinese are doing on the other side of the table. But like at least to risk a little bit more. Wang Hao has too much time after the service.
Wang Hao now 5 game points in this third game. And that was a mid-table serve. It bounced high, and it was bread and butter to Wang Hao. He wins the third game, 11 points to 5. He now leads by 3 games to 0. And China looking as though their first player will make it through to the quarter-final. Confirmation of the situation we just saw on the screen. 3 games to 0 for Wang Hao. It's almost like a relentless machine, this Chinese production line of producing outstanding players.
Yeah. Also now, I mean, if you check out their nomination list, you have still Wang Liqin around. He's 32. You have Ma Lin around, and the youngsters like Tang Yike and Xixin, they are there. But in generations before, they really, with 32, they didn't send anybody anymore to World Championships. So this is really a very special generation, led by Ma Lin, Wang Liqin, to really be inside the team with around 30 years.
And so, both players back at the table for the start of the fourth game. Mizutani to serve, the left-hander from Japan. Wang Hao there, superb footwork. He was out very wide on the backhand side, making that forehand topspin winner.
Do you see it? This is different. Like from Mizutani, the ball is coming out, especially from backhand, too much straight. You see there again, the ball is opening and the ball is flying high out of the racket. Many other players, especially also, you see there, it's coming up higher. Like Wang Hao is using always this little bit of contra topspin, and we will see later on with Timo as well, trying to come out low for the ball, gets it more difficult for the opponent to attack. That's a major technical problem Mizutani has right now, and I saw him playing that already a bit better. I think he knows that, he's working on that, but against this unbelievable power of Wang Hao, also not so easy to get that organized.
It's interesting, isn't it? I would have thought that MIZUTANI here, the thinking would be, I've nothing to lose. I'm playing the champion, the #1 seed. I can take some risks. I can go for my shots. I can stay close to the table. But he has been a little bit too passive, and straight away in this round, there he is, away from the table again.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit in his nature. He likes to come back. Not over.
That's fantastic, but it's almost like a Pyrrhic victory. You win 1 point, you think, great, I'll do it again, and you lose the next 5. So I don't think Wang Hao will be too worried at losing that point.
No.
But I'm sure he'd rather have won it.
And I'm also sure his condition, his athletic way of playing gives him enough power to get through. Even if he's missing 1 or 2 shots like that, he won't be afraid, as you said.
That wasn't a great serve, but interesting. Wang Hao committed himself to go round to play the backhand, then he realised it was long and he could have made his forehand topspin. Changed his mind. Here he is coming across, changed his mind, and he ends up hitting the ball when it's the same height as the table. So MIZUTANI, 3 points each. He's done well. Is this what I was talking about before, Richard? When he's just working the ball now till it's.
And really kept so much patience inside, preparing for the last smash with the topspin with wide ankle.
Wang Hao 4-3. Again, the topspin on the serve. The racket angle not sufficiently over the ball.
Maybe from time to time, this service of Wang Hao is also not short, it's half long. So like maybe try to come directly with topspin. It's just on the border. But to me looks like, especially this last service was a chance for MIZUTANI to come with topspin. Ooh, nice block.
The difference there was MIZUTANI stayed close to the table. He didn't back away from the table. He makes a wonderful block, but that was only possible because he was a little bit closer to the table.
So using the power of Wang Hao and not going backwards, because this gives Wang Hao always so much time.
Serve drifted long. Wang Hao in with the topspin. Point to China. Way over the baseline, inviting the topspin from Wang Hao. He duly obliged. 6-4 China. Wang now with his 2 serves. Slightly softer backhand, varying the pace, varying the spin. The block into the net from MIZUTANI. 7-4. A different player from the one who struggled in the previous round against Ru Sun-min.
So much trouble with his return, really unbelievable. So much spin seems to be inside, and he doesn't like to flick that ball to open the game, to risk a little bit more. He prefers to try to play short, and it's too often half long, so gives Wang Hao the possibility to attack directly.
Good short play there by MIZUTANI. Good feeling in the hands, soft hands as it's often referred to. Delicate touch strokes, keeping it tight over the net. 9-5. Wang Hao, 2 serves.
And 5.
5 match points for China. And a place in the semi-final of the men's